International Women's Day this week, and by the way, we have some desserts.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
So I didn't really know how many days there are. Like, have you ever gone to the National Day Calendar and seen how many days there are? Do you know that there are over 1,000, actually I think it's closer to 2,000 or 3,000 days. And given we only have 365 of them, you will see that if you go to the National Day, Google it, you go to the National Day Calendar, you will see like a list of days. And some of the days are really dumb. I mean, dumb. But as we tape this program on Thursday, welcome in on Friday evening or Sunday, thanks for tuning in. It was brought to my attention that International Women's Day was on Wednesday. And that didn't feel so dumb to me. So we spent some time on the radio talking about it, and it was some really interesting conversation about the importance of it, the relevance of it, what does it mean, and, you know, is it necessary, and yada, 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 yada. So I thought in part we would talk about that this evening, of course, and then we're going to talk about the Girl Scouts and the cookies. And how we make that transition, I have no idea, but that's okay, because Eva's here, and she'll figure it out for me. Eva Mancuso is a special advisor to Governor Dan McKee, and stop calling me. You're always calling me. Anyway, you're supposed to mute your phone before you start a television show. We're pretty loose here, as you know. Dana, don't worry about it. We're just chilling. But the resume is deep for Eva, and you know, former chair of the board of education, lawyer. Ran for attorney general. What else did you do in your life?
Raised 5 kids.
With that,
How about that
I was talking about the public part.
How about that one?
See, there you go.
That's the hardest job.
So see, now we're into the conversation already.
That's the hardest job.
Welcome, my friend.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
And full disclosure, she is my friend. So God knows what could happen here. Dana Borrelli-Murray is the CEO of the Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England, which is a job. I mean, that's like a job.
It's a job.
Like
multi-million-dollar organization serving thousands of youth and adults every year.
Right. I mean, it's not just cookies. I mean, it's not just the fun and frolic of what we see at the end. I mean,
it's fun.
It's yeah. Is it fun?
Of course.
Okay. Good. Well, welcome both. Let's start with International Women's Day before we get into the cookies.
So I'm going to take my glasses off because it's my favorite day. I like it more than my birthday because it's women all over.
What happened to be on my birthday?
I know that.
Is it always March 8th?
It's always March 8th, Dan Yorke.
Wow, I wonder if there's any solar significance
There is, because
to that.
you've got 2 strong women that run your life.
Okay.
Besides your producer, your wife, your daughter. So
okay.
Go with it.
All right.
Go with it.
It's your favorite day?
It's my favorite day.
Because?
Because internationally, all women around the whole world was celebrating yesterday. There's even colors that you wear, purple and green, to signify the color for the day. But it's really important because we are so blessed in our country, especially in our state of Rhode Island, where we have people that are forward-thinking. As you know, I had Rabia Chaudhry yesterday in. She's from Pakistan. She's an unbelievable writer. She talks about women in her country, where she was first born. She's obviously a Pakistani American, but also women around the world and what they suffer with, and things that we just take for granted. Well, we used to just take for granted after some of the assaults that the Supreme Court has taken on women in the last term. But I'm telling you, Dan, it's amazing. For us, we can have that knee-jerk reaction. You know, every year my husband says, "Oh, when's International Men's Day?" And other people and
I guess there is
I
one,
love,
by the way, in like the fall. Are you saying, "Oh my gosh"?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, just like insert eye roll here. I mean, that we need to have a day to be able to celebrate and shine a light on women everywhere. We don't really. Every other day seems to be for men.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many reasons.
It's nationally. Listen, internationally, Dan. Think about international, okay? Don't think about Dan Yorke and your house or in Rhode Island or in your group of friends. Think internationally and where women are internationally.
Usually I have water Today I brought some booze. So,
You know, seriously. We're just raising the
Kidding.
conversation to say
what's the eye roll for? What was that all about? Seriously.
It's okay.
No.
Seriously,
Listen, we're just hanging here. Every other day is for men. I know you're making a point.
I was making a point.
Yeah, I know you're making a point, but all humor contains a significant element of truth to the humorist. So what are you thinking? What do you mean?
Well, I think after spending the last 10 months running an organization that is focused on creating the new leaders of tomorrow and focusing on our youth that are girls, I see how, every day people ask about the relevance of an organization like the Girl Scouts in the 21st century. Why do you need to have something like this? And I would strike right back and say that it's more relevant than ever. We have in some ways been seen declining enrollment probably since the 60s in Girl Scouts because of things like Title IX and other rules that have allowed for a leveling of the playing fields. But when you look at the number of CEOs that are women, the amount of people that can make it through to shatter a glass ceiling, we still have a lot of work to do. When we look at the STEM fields, when we look at a lot of other pieces of the puzzle of what makes up the fabric of our economy, we very much desperately see the need to make sure we're growing and supporting strong girls to be our leaders.
Do people question the legitimacy of the Girl Scouts organization? I mean,
yes.
My daughter,
yes.
My daughter went through it.
Totally.
I learned terrific things from it. There was all sorts of plus, I thought, to it.
People will joke and, say things like crafts and camps and cookies, and I hold my head up high unapologetically about those things, but also add courage, confidence, and character. And, our whole point of Girl Scouts is to make the world a better place.
Are you saying that people look at the organization and trivialize some of the activity stuff as if not necessary anymore or old school?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
But when you know about the history of the organization, it's pretty fascinating. In 1912, Juliette Gordon-Low founded Girl Scouts. She was a single disabled woman. She couldn't divorce her husband.
Do we have some other pictures that we have,
I don't know
Alex?
if we have anything about her.
You've got old-time pictures and photos of the Girl Scout organization or things that reflect it. I mean, I don't know how old that photo is. Did we get that, or did you bring that?
That's actually at one of our camps. It was at Camp Hoffman.
Here, locally?
Yeah, here in Rhode Island, the second oldest Girl Scout camp
What
in the
year
country.
is that, do you know?
I think that's in the 40s.
Yeah, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Juliette Gordon-Low founded Girl Scouts as a single woman. She and had to sell her own pearls to start her troops, and it spread like wildfire. The reason she started Girl Scouts was because there already was something called Boy Scouts that grew out of England that girls weren't allowed to participate in, and other organizations were trying to create girl-led organizations that were really in support of creating housewives. And she created an organization called Girl Scouts that was centered on girls doing anything they want to do, but also essential to it was making friends and joy. Because if you think about being a girl in 1912, I don't know how much joy was in a lot of girls' lives. Did you have schools that you could go to? Did you have the ability to open your own bank account? Did you have the ability to do anything other than just get married and, be the almost property of others? Like there were a lot of things that I don't know how joyous it was to go work at factories in Pawtucket and Central Falls. So she was, instead she was creating an organization that actually centered joy for girls. It was radical.
So we've this in International Women's Day. How old is International Women's Day?
I believe it's the 1930s.
I think
where it started when it was formalized. And to our discussion a little bit, Dan, when I hear somebody say, when is Men's Day, we don't say, when is White Day? Right? I mean, you don't hear people saying, well, we do everything.
Maybe you ought to tune in weekdays 3 to 6 on WPRI as the calls are coming in, talking about that, and I have to go through the exercise of describing that the reason the days are designated is for identifying tasks, challenges, folks who feel like they need to coalesce in order to move forward.
Right.
And white America is a term that half this television audience is going to throw tomatoes at the screen over, but it's a term I used. It's not mine originally, but to your point, there are a lot of the reason why we have the anger we do on January 6th and the Trump MAGA thing, blah blah blah, is that there's a white male anger out there right now that there's a slow creep and a loss of whatever it is that they think they had.
That's probably
myself included.
Well, no,
So
no, that's not you.
No, I'm not talking about my own perspective. I'm saying I am a white male. I have to recognize that white male existence is not monolithic. By the way, neither is one gender. So there are a lot of women who have a lot of different perspectives on this notion of needing Women's Day and everything else.
I understand.
Right?
I'm just saying to you that we wouldn't say that out loud. People don't
Wouldn't
say
say
out
what?
loud. When is white Women's Day, or when is White Day, or what have you?
Right.
Yet people will come push back and say, why do we need this? And
well, we still classify women as associated with minority.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. But exactly.
Weirdly.
That's it. But what I'm saying is, no, it's not weirdly, and it's exactly to my point. We will say, why do we need International Women's Day, but we won't say, why do we need international, why do we need to look at Latina Day or Latino Day or African American Day or what have you? Why do we have Juneteenth? People don't say that. They look more at that one particular day that women are equal now. And the truth of the matter is they're not. They might be here in Rhode Island, they might be in your house, and they might be in other people's houses, but we're still in an area where we have to be very deliberate. As Dana said, especially in the STEM area, as you know, my background in chairing the Board of Education.
Technology.
Engineering,
math, yes, and the arts also. We look at some of what's going on in the arts. I think
Hold that thought. I got a break. We'll talk about that when we come back. See, I knew we'd have a show. Stay with us. Yeah, so the activities that the Girl Scouts are involved in are, listen, if anybody out there is ridiculing the activities of the Girl Scouts, stow it. I mean, I have no idea why. It's okay for kids to be simple, by the way, right? I mean, it's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with arts and crafts. And by the way, the arts are actually waning in our public schools. So any kind of, I don't know. I just find it unnerving that, Dana, that you're telling me that.
But I think that
there's some scrutiny that the organization gets for what are traditional things that girls do.
But I would say coming out of COVID, Girl Scouts are more relevant and more important than ever. Families, I have 4 little kids at home. I'm trying to figure out, how do I really support them fully as holistic people, including their mental health after 2 years of being little, wearing masks, not getting to be around their friends, all the things.
Way behind.
Yeah, and
they're even if you've done a wonderful job, they're way behind.
Totally.
My daughter's in the school systems. Oh boy.
It's so true. So Girl Scouts, we're like a Venn diagram for all of the things that could be a solution for the kids, what kids need right now. We foster strong peer-to-peer relationships through long-term troop. When you're in a troop with a group of friends from kindergarten to 12th grade, you can tell your story.
That's my story.
What?
Well, I told her so when I got up, and you'll notice we support small businesses in Governor McKee's
office. Oh my God,
office.
that's a cookie earring.
It's a cookie earring. We have a woman who was at the event, and she
that particular
made them.
Cookie, by the way,
Check
is
that
called
out.
the what? That's
What
is that? What's that cookie called?
I don't even know if that's
don't
that's the caramel delight.
This is the caramel delight.
The caramel delight
Delicious.
is a cookie that I don't like, but
it's very popular.
We'll have 3 or 4 more than I need.
All right.
That particular cookie.
So you know what?
By the way, just a digression. This is a drug.
You did say that on the radio the other day.
This is a drug.
A sleeve of those in front of you.
It is our number one cookie sell.
It's a drug.
It is amazing.
You all ought to be included in the National Law Enforcement something or other, whatever.
Appreciate that.
That is an.
Do you want to buy a case?
It is an impossibility for anybody to open a sleeve up, have 1 or 2.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
And by the way, not for nothing, tell me the truth. They changed the ingredients a good 10 years, 12 years ago. They're not as good as they used to be, and they're still addictive.
I have
not
a clue about that, but
they did. They changed the ingredients.
It's possible.
Well, it's happening in every supermarket on every level.
Can I please finish my story? Okay.
On STEM?
So here's my this is not on STEM. I want to finish my story right now about the camaraderie. So when I got up, and Dana asked me to do this, and I got up in front of all of the troop leaders to talk about it. I had just come back from vacation with two of my friends that were Troop 253 in Edgewood, Rhode Island.
In the day.
In the day. And I said, and I got the goosebumps talking about it, and I talked to a bunch of Girl Scouts the other day, and I said, you all will be, someday, you will all be together again, and how wonderful will that be? And there were a couple of the troop leaders that were shaking their heads. So I always talk about that. The other thing that I think is really important is, and you were nice to say that I've done a lot of things in my life. I have been, and I don't give my name, and I don't promote many things. Girl Scout cookies, #1 on my list, besides my own charity.
Yeah, you do a bunch of charity work.
Yeah, but let me tell you why. But I only get involved if the money's going to the kids. I'm really not interested in doing a whole bunch of work.
All right, this
is really important.
Let me throw 2 issues out that I think are kind of important. I got to get this out because if I run out of time, I'm not going to give it its fair shake. Girl Scout cookie sales. I'm all for it. The exercise of prospecting and asking and closing on sales is an incredibly important exercise. The worst trend we've had in America over the last 20, 25 years seems to be mommy and daddy going to the office and selling their cookies for the kids. Under no circumstances should that ever happen. Do you agree?
I don't know if I agree with that.
Why not?
Well, because...
What is that teaching the kid?
Well, there's so much being done on the back end of this, Dan, that that you as a person, as a consumer, don't see. You don't see the troops setting their goals at the beginning of the year, then figuring out how they do percentage to goal. That they're setting up their own websites, that they're figuring out how to do their online sales, that they're going. We have thousands of cookie booths that you can go to our website, gssne.org, and you can find a cookie booth anywhere.
You got to come on the radio with me where we have more time to argue about this. There's so much that we can talk about with this. Under no circumstances, you asked my daughter if she was allowed to even ask me to facilitate a sale of a Girl Scout cookie in
Okay, I'm going to push back on you only because
she will jump with the answer. Absolutely not.
Listen to what's different today, though, and that's where you're not listening. Back in the day, they didn't have things like online sales. They didn't have things like because she's recruiting. Because listen to me. Listen to what they're doing.
There's so many solicitation in place of what.
No, it's not in place of. You're not, because you're not listening to Dana, what she's saying. The girls themselves, they put together their marketing plan. And you know what? Part of their marketing plan is Dan Yorke's my dad, and Dan Yorke works in a place where 300 people are. That's part of their plan.
You do that for any other entrepreneurial
you do it for everything
business.
Else.
You would spread the word and tell any other entrepreneurial business. But I'll tell you, we're the only nonprofit out there.
You know what?
Where
I love you guys. That is the biggest pile of poop I've ever heard.
And look at our cookie. 79% goes directly to the kids.
I'm all about it. You set up tables at the supermarket. We're phenomenal. I'm all about that. Online, new technology, whatever. I just discharging the look. The problem we have with people and kids today is they can't look you in the eye, they can't shake your hand, they can't say, they can't ask you for anything. They're in here and they're under the table. And having mommy and daddy going to sell these things is a terrible thing to do.
It's not. That's right.
It's not. It's just not.
Fine, just carve it out. That's all I'm saying.
Just a small piece now.
Okay.
But why?
Make it smaller.
Then it affects the way that the girls can. Do you know that Girl Scout cookies, girls pay their own way to go to camp? Do you know this is how troops have all their money to do all their programming all year? Well, there's a market. I mean, you saturate the market with cookies. We have the highest market share in all of New England. Our per girl average is higher than anyone.
I told you that there was one thing I needed to get off my chest, and I have. And
well,
I've lost
respectfully.
The argument. Well, I'm 2-1.
Do not know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
A little tension on the show is a good thing, don't you think? What? Don't look at me with that disgust.
So let me tell you what happens.
It's a point of view that I think is important.
As you know, and you said,
boys or girls.
Listen to me for a second. As you know, I work in the State House, right? When the word went around, and of course I did buy 10 boxes last week, and I take my cookie jar and I walk around and I give it to people, you know, just like I do, promoting drugs. So what I do is I go around, everybody has asked me, are you selling cookies? Do you have them in your office?
No.
No.
No, you got to go find a girl.
That's right.
To go buy.
And I tell them about the cookie tracker, and I say, put your. In fact, wait a minute.
You can't stop by our office and buy cookies.
That's right.
You can't swing by our office and buy cookies unless there is a Girl Scout booth outside. You have to buy from a youth in a troop. So we do follow all of those things. It's wonderful if kids, part of their marketing plan is to have mom and dad.
Yeah, use them.
They use them.
Woohoo.
They use their parents to help them do their work.
And now the meme is going to be, you are a rotten dad that you never helped your daughter. That's it. You're in trouble, Dan Yorke.
The list probably doesn't end there. Final thoughts when we come back. Stay with us. Slow.
Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England, gssne.org.
Okay, we're back. We're Dana is telling me where we can find what website you can get to volunteer. Believe me, the conversation didn't stop during the break. Important point: you need more adults to
Absolutely.
engage Girl Scouts of America.
I want Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England to be the most relevant, engaging, and inclusive youth development programming available, and I am only limited by the amount of adult volunteers that are available. I could double our numbers tomorrow. We have so many.
Double your numbers in terms of enrollments?
Of Girl Scouts that would want to enroll and be a part of the program.
Meaning of a wait list?
Totally. We have neighborhoods that would love to have kids sign up, and we don't have enough adults to run troops. And so if this is an organization that you have a background in, or that you're interested in, or that you care about developing
Dare I
leaders
ask,
of tomorrow.
is it only women that you want to take on?
Oh gosh, no.
I mean, in terms of supervising?
No, there's any adult can be a Girl Scout volunteer, and you can volunteer many different ways. We have,
So I only have a minute here. What's the average workload for a volunteer, a committed volunteer for the Girl Scouts?
Yeah, the thing about Girl Scouts is that every troop really operates on its own and sets its own way it wants to operate. So it can meet once a month, it can meet twice a month, it can meet twice a week.
No requirement?
There is,
requirements?
we do we do background checks, we do
trainings.
trainings.
No, I'm talking about the time spent.
No, I want to speak to that, Dan, only because when my youngest daughter was involved, I was in the midst of trying cases and raising kids and everything else, and my passion is music, and I just ran the music part. So I would come in as kind of like the guest to do that, teach them camp songs, what have you.
Ages what to what still for the Girl Scouts?
5 to 18, kindergarten
5 to 18.
through, yep, 12th grade.
Most of the teenagers peel off, right, in 15, 16, 17-ish.
Well, yeah, there's so many other things that are happening,
Right,
but we have
right.
lots of ways to keep them back engaged.
That website, by the way, is
gssne.org. Girl Scouts of Southeastern
Listen, the
New
great
England.
thing about technology today and the internet is just Google it. Girl Scouts of America, or Southeastern, whatever. And if you're inclined to get involved, and why wouldn't you? If you want to see young ladies become powerful women, that'd be a great thing to do. Hey, thanks for coming.
Hey.
We could spend
Happy
2 hours.
International Women's Day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Don't be mad at me, by the way. I have a point of view. I think kids ought to sell on their own.
All right.
And I'm sticking to it.
All right.
Yes.
Old fart that I am. Final word next. It's a drug, really is. Got to go. Bye.